Okay, now we're gonna do question 6. Question 6, look at the size of angle ABD. Give reasons for your work. So we have to give reasons for each step that we do. ضروري نحمل النقطة هذه إن أي خطوة نديرها ضروري يجد عندي reasons لها. تمام. Now let's take a look at the shape here. We need to find the angle ABD. ABD like this. And this angle is marked with the letter X. تمام. معناها هذه اللي هنجيبها. Now the angles that we have is this one 156. We have this one which is 72. Now we're gonna start from these angles. دي مقدم الangles اللي عندك مش انت تمشي واحدة واحدة. Okay. First thing we do, let's take a look. We will notice that this line here is a straight line. And these angles are straight line angles. Okay, let's make them red. Straight line angles عندي هذه 156 معاها هذه جنبها. Okay. So how can I find this? كيف نلقاها هذه? By subtracting from 180. Good. لأن هذا straight line معناه ننقص من 180 تطلع لي اللي جنبها. So 180 minus 156 and it's 24. So this one is 24. تمام? Now I have to write the reason. So I'm going to write the angles first. هنقول له the angle DEC. So DEC equals 180 minus 156. And what's the reason? كما قلنا? Sorry, equals 24. And then the reason كما قلنا is straight line. Okay, straight line. Good. Straight line. تمام? So we write what's going on and what's the answer and then what's the reason. Good. Now we got this, which is 24. Because this one is 24 and this one is 72, we can find this angle, which is DCE. DCE. ليش؟ لأن هذا triangle. You can see that this is a triangle. And triangles, angles add up 180. So we're going to add these together and subtract from 180. يعني نجمعهم مع بعضهم وننقصهم من 180. معناها نقول لا the angle which is DCE equals 180 minus these angles added up together, 72 plus 24. And the answer will be, so we add 24 plus 72, it's going to be 96. And then subtract from 180, and the answer will be 84. 84. So this one is 84. 84. Write it here. 84. Now, after knowing this angle here, I can find X. How is that? I can see that EC is parallel to AB. هن اثنين parallel to each other. تمام؟ and then the angles اثنين or the lines are parallel to each other. They are parallel to each other. And these two angles are what? They make the letter F together. They make the letter F together. وقلنا احنا من قبل قلنا letter F معناها شنو؟ Very good. معناها corresponding angles. You can see that this is the letter F here, like this, and like this. So these angles make the letter F and they look at the same side. So this one looks here, this one looks at the same side. So they are equal to each other because they are corresponding. So we write here that the angle ABD equals DCE equals 84. And the reason is what? كيف ما قلنا corresponding angles. Corresponding angles. Okay, corresponding angles. Or corresponding, it's okay. So that's the idea of the whole question. يبقى أول حاجة شفنا هذه جبناها نقصنا من 108 لأنها straight line كتبناها هنا. And then we found this by adding and subtracting adding these and subtracting from 180 طلعت لي 84 هذه. وبعد طلعت لي 84 قلت ان هذه وهذه corresponding to each other. It means they are equal. As we said, the reason is corresponding. Now let's move on to the next question. So this, as we said, yes, you can. This one, I didn't write the reason because you already know the reason, which is sum of angles of a triangle. يعني مجموع زوايا مثلث. You can write it here. next to it, sum of angles or sum of triangles angles, sum of triangles angles equals 180. تمام. You can write it, no problem. And this is the whole idea for this question. Now let's move on to the next one here. Question 6, okay. Now we're gonna move on to this exercise to start. Question 1, name a quadrilateral with one line of symmetry and no rotational symmetry. No rotation symmetry. كما قلنا نحن rotation symmetry شو معناها؟ معناها تقدر تبرمها كم مرة. مش يطلع عندك شنو؟ يطلع عندك the same shape. Now, with no rotational symmetry and has one line of symmetry. The one that has one line of symmetry اللي هو شنو؟ نحن عندنا isosceles trapezium وعندنا الكايت. We have the kite. Now, let's go back to the shapes. Let me show you. هنا عندي one line of symmetry هي الكايت. وهذا one line of symmetry اللي هو شنو؟ اللي هو isosceles trapezium. So you can say one of them. But you'll say the kite. Even this one goes back to its place, and this one goes back to its place. I think it has one order of rotational symmetry in which it goes back to its place 360. I don't know if zero rotational symmetry is possible. Okay, so the answer will be the kite here. And the next question says, the four angles of a quadrilateral are 90, 3x plus 15, and x plus 25, and x plus 55. Okay, find x. So these are the four sides or four angles of the quadrilateral. Let's take a look at this question. تعال شوفوا نديروا مع بعضنا. طبعا sometimes they come as word problems. يعني ضروري تقعد مركز how do you answer these questions. Now let's take a look. For example, هو قال لي quadrilateral معناها شكل رباعي. نجي نرسمها هنا، نجي نرسم رسمه هيك كيف ما يبي نديروا. قال لي quadrilateral, let's say it's like this. مش لازم يقعد منظم، عادي اي quadrilateral. هذه شكله رباعي. قال لي الانجلز بتاعها واحده منها 90. let's say this is 90. This one is 3x plus 15. That's an example. It's not the exact shape يعني. 3x plus 15. وهذه x plus 25. x plus 25. وهذه x plus 55. x plus 55. تمام. هيك عندي الفور angles of a quadrilateral. We need to find x. That's the question. يعني شنو حندير توا؟ انا عارف ان مجموعهم كلهم حيكون كم؟ حيكون 360. هذه المعلومه اللي انا اعرفها ونشتغل بها ديما في الكوادريلاترالز. ان مجموعهم حيكون 360. It means what? It means معناها نجمعهم مع بعضهم ونسويهم 360 and then I find x. That's the idea. So let's do it here. هنقول له مجموعهم 90 plus 3x plus 15 plus x plus 25 plus x plus 55. تمام. يبقى كيف مكتوب هنا كتبتن وكتبت بيناتن جمع وخلاص. and then equals 360. تمام. هذه first step. يبقى اول حاجه درتها كتبت كيف ما هن شنو نجمعهم مع بعض. now I want to look at the like terms. شنو عندي الارقام اللي هي 90 و15 25 و55. تمام. هذين اول حاجه الارقام عندي. now for the numbers I'm gonna add them so I'll know what's the value that I got. okay. اول حاجه حنجمع الارقام مع بعض. 90 plus 90 plus 15 plus 25 plus 55. هيطلع عندي 185. 185 اكتب عن 185. وقبل ال 185 هنشوف الاكسس توا. الاكسس اللي عندي اللي هن اللايك تيرمز زي بعض لكن اكسس اللي هي كم؟ عندي 3x هنا here. عندي 1x here 1x here. So when you add them 3x plus 1 is 4x. 4x plus 1 is 5x. So these are 5x. So I'm going to write it here before the 158. أنا عندي 5x plus 185. تمام. 185 equals what? Equals 360. نفس ما عندي هنا. تمام. Now next step I'm going to take the numbers to the other side. هناخذ الأرقام اللي هي عندي 185. هي بوزيتيف هتجد نيجاتيف هن 185. ولاني حولتها معناها هنشطبها من هن. I have to remove it from this side. Okay. Now it's gonna be minus 185. So here minus 185, and then 5x equals 360 minus 185. So 360 minus 185 is going to be 175. 175. Now 5 is multiplied by x, so I'm going to take it to the other side by dividing. Because it's multiplied, I'm going to take it by dividing here. I'm going to do a dividing line like this, and I'm going to remove it from here. So I'm going to divide by 5. So x equals 175 divide 5, and the answer will be 175 divide 5. It's going to be 35. So x equals 35, and this answers the question that we have here. So find x. X is 35. Okay, that's it for this question. I hope you understood the idea. You have to understand the idea of adding the angles and making it equal to 360. انك تساويها ب 360 وبعدين تدير solving ويطلع قيمة x. Now let's move on to the next question. Okay, let's move on to the next one. This one question 2, right? Now question 3. In question 3, same idea and same steps, and we're gonna use the same methods and the same rules, okay? Focus with me on this because this one is a little bit long, but it's easy to understand. ABCD is an isosceles trapezium. And we talked about isosceles trapezium. قلنا إنه هو عبارة عن trapezium. It's a trapezium that has two sides which are the same and two base angles which are the same. حتى هنا base angles هيكونوا the same. Okay. Now the question is, they said that BCE is an isosceles triangle. This one BCE isosceles triangle in which these two base angles are the same. Good. DCEF is a straight line. This one is a straight line. We have this angle which is 132. Look at the size of angle of DAB and give reasons for your look. They're looking for DAB, this angle. Okay. Let me show you. Let's put a line on it. So we need DAB, this angle. And we know that it's the same as this angle because this is an isosceles trapezium. So if we find this angle, it means we're almost there. That's it. Now, let's start step after another. Okay. عندي ال 132 هنمشي منها وحده وحده لين نخش لعند التراينجل جوا. Okay. Let's see. First thing we have here 132. I can see that 132 is on a straight line. واضح ان هي قاعده على straight line مع الانجل هذه اللي هي CED. So this is a straight line, and كما قلنا من قبل ان straight line angles add up to 180. Straight line angles هن وين هذه اللي هي 132 ومعاها هذه. So 132 I subtract it from 180 and it's gonna be 48. It's gonna be 48. تمام؟ معناها هذه عندي 48. So I'm gonna write 48 here. You have to focus with me. ركزوا معي واحدة واحدة لأن السؤال هذا شوية في تريك بسيطة. But you'll understand it because you understand the rules. So this one is 48. Now, what you see here is an isosceles triangle. An isosceles triangle. And we talked about isosceles triangle, and we said that it has two lines which are the same, and the angles opposite to the lines are the same. And we call these angles, we call them base angles. Now, how do we find the base angles? First, let's write this so we don't forget. We have to write the angle and the reason, okay? So we said that CEB equals 180 minus 132 equals 48. And what's the reason? As we said, straight line. Straight line. Okay. Now, as we said, this is an isosceles triangle, and these two angles are the same. How do we find them? Very good. By subtracting 48 from 180. So we're going to say 180. How do we find? We're going to find this angle, which is BCE. So we're going to say BCE equals CBE, because they are the same, equals 180 minus 48 minus 48, as you see here. So 180 minus 48, it will give me these two together. So it's going to be 180 minus 48, which is what? So 180 minus 48. And the answer is 132. As we said, 132 is these two angles together. And to find one of them, we're going to divide by 2. Very good. We're going to divide by 2. So I'm going to divide 132 by 2. 132 divide 2. And I will get the answer. So 132 divide 2. And the answer is 66. So this one is 66. This one is 66. So we found the angles of the isosceles triangle, or the base angles. And what's the reason? As we said it's an isosceles triangle. I can write isosceles triangle. Okay. Triangle. Good. So the reason is an isosceles triangle, and that's why we subtract and then divide by 2. Good. Now, after finding this, we found the 66. Okay. After finding the 66, now you can see what? Yes, that these angles here, these angles, this and this are the same. They are the same. Accordingly. Yes. So what do we do? First thing we do, we're gonna do this step. Find this angle here inside. Okay. Because we have no other information that helps me unless this one is parallel to this one. Yes, this is parallel to this, I think. So can I use this? So I need ACB. AC. You want to do. I think this one is parallel to this one, but it's not written here. So I can't use this information. So I'm going to go inside with the angles. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go inside with the angles. Okay. So I need to find DAB, which is here. DAB. And yes, I think that this one is parallel to this one. But they didn't say in the question that it's parallel. Now, if this one is parallel to this one, I will say that this angle and this angle are alternate because they make the letter Z. ان يديرهم في الحرف Z مع بعضهم معناها alternate معناها this one is 66 and this one is another base angle of isosceles trapezium, so it's 66. I can say that. But I don't have the information, المعلومة اللي تقول لي ان هذين lines are parallel, this and this. But this is a trapezium. In trapeziums, this one and this one are parallel. In trapezium, yes, this and this are parallel. So I can use this information to say that they are parallel. Yes, yes. So I can say that they are parallel, that this one and this one are parallel, and I use the information. Yeah. So I'm going to say it because this and this are parallel because it's a trapezium. I'll put a line like this. So this, because they already said it's a trapezium, معناها هذين parallel. خلاص. These are parallel lines, okay? Now, I'm going to use this information and it will help me to find the rest of the angles. How is that? Now لما نبحث في اللاين هذا parallel هذا صح؟ معناها عندي شنو؟ Let me make it so you can see it. لا not blue green. Let's make it big. This angle here اللي هي 66. Okay, we got that parallel line مع اللي and this angle which is the base of the trapezium. So this angle and this angle, focus on this. So this and this angle اللي هي 66 with this angle اللي هي هنا, they are alternate angles because they make the letter Z بيديرهم في حرف Z مع بعضهم لأن قاعدات على parallel lines on alternate sides. معناها this one is 66. It means that this one is 66. Okay. So how did we find this? Because they are alternate angles. So I'm going to say the angle ABC, so ABC equals the angle BCE, BCE equals 66. And what's the reason? Very good, alternate angles, alternate angles. or alternate. It's okay. So I can say this, that these are alternate angles, so they are equal to each other, okay? Now, I want to find this angle, which is DAB. Now, DAB and ABC are the same because they're what? They are base angles of an isosceles trapezium. So I'm going to say DAB equals ABC equals 66. And what's the reason? I'll say they are base angles of isosceles trapezium. Easy. Okay. So that's the final reason for giving the angle or the value of the angle DAB. معناها الانجل دي اي بي طلعت شنو؟ طلعت 66 لان هذه وهذه متساويات لان هنا البيس بتاع isosceles trapezium. And this is how you answer a question like this. Now let's move on to the next question. Now, question 4. Work out the size of angle ACB. Give reasons for your work. Now, ACB is over here. Let's see. Let's mark it. So ACB is here. Let's zoom in first so we can work. We need to find ACB and we have to give reasons for our work. طبعا reasons ضروري منها لأن شنو? It means you understand the idea. Now, ACB here, we have this, which is 74, and we have 125 and 110. We can see that this one is parallel to this one, and this is a straight line. So we can work this out by finding or working with parallel lines and bisectors of parallel lines. So this is a parallel line, and this is a bisector of the parallel line. معناها هنقول شنو as you see, this is, let me make it bigger. This angle here, 110, makes the letter F with this angle اللي هي CBE. تمام. So I'm gonna follow these rules. So this angle and this angle مع CBE, they make the letter F. وقلنا letter F معناها شنو؟ معناها corresponding angles. معناها corresponding angles. So what am I going to do? I'm gonna first cover this so I can write my reasons. I'm gonna say CBE equals I don't have a name here, so I'm gonna equals 110, and the reason corresponding angles. Okay, because I don't have a letter here, I can't name this angle, and I can't name it E because E has two angles, 1, 2, and the third one down here. So these are corresponding angles. Angles, good, or corresponding. So CBE equals 110 because it's corresponding, good, or corresponding angles. Now this one is 110 كما جبناها توا لأنها corresponding مع 110.
Yes, Mr.
Good. Yes, yes. Now, no, it's okay. By mistake, by accident. So, this one is 110, this one is 110 كما قلنا corresponding. بعدين شو نبي ندير؟ نبي نجيب الانجل اللي جوايا اللي في triangle. I noticed that they are making a straight line. معناها قاعد على straight line, which is this one. Let's see. هذا straight line. معناها straight line angles add up to 180. It means I can find the angle inside this one by subtracting 110 from 180. And the reason is straight line. So I'm going to say ABC. So ABC equals 180 minus 110. And the answer will be 70. And the reason, as we said, is straight line. Straight line. We have to focus on the reasons and we have to write each reason for each step. So this is 70. Now, after finding this angle, I have two angles inside the triangle, and I'm missing one here. So I can add them and subtract them from 180. يعني نجمعهم وننقصهم من 180 تطلع لي ACB. معناها نقول له ACB equals 180 minus these angles together اللي هي 74 plus 70. and I will get the answer for ACB. So 70 plus 74, and then subtract it from 180, and the answer will be 36. 36, okay? So this one equals 36. So ACB is 36. And what's the reason here? As we said, this is the sum of triangles angles. Sum of triangles angles, or sum of triangles angles equal 180, okay? You have to understand the reasons and write them and use them all the time, because all the questions will ask you for reasons, and this is how you answer a question like this. Now, as we said, straight line 180. We got here. How did we get this? As we said, 110. This one is corresponding to it, so it makes the letter F with it, and they are looking at the same side. يبقى بنفس الجهة معناها corresponding يعني زي بعضهم. They are equal. So this one is 110. I think in a straight line معناها هذه 70. نقصناها من 180. We got 70. And then we add this with this, and we subtract from 180. We get 36. Now, let's move on to the next question. Question 5. In this quadrilateral, angles PQR and QRS are equal. So these are equal angles. PQR, QRS. Good. They are equal. Angle PSR is 4/7 of angle QRS. So this one is 4/7 of QRS. QRS. And this one is 6/7 of QRS. Okay. Now find the angle PSR, which is here, PSR, and show that angles QPS is a right angle. So the whole idea is what? The whole idea is find the value of angles. Find the value of angles. Now here, because they are equal, let me show you how to answer this. And this one is not, it's not hard. It's if you understand the idea, it's easy. Now this and this are equal, so I'm gonna name this X, and I'm gonna name this X. That's the idea. Okay. So we have X, X. Because they are equal, so X, X. Okay. Let's move on. This one is 4/7 of QRS. QRS here X, but 4/7 of X. يعني 4/7 of X. يعني نقول له 4/7 of X. Okay. And I put the line of fraction here. Good. Same idea here. This is 6/7 of QRS. That means 4/7 of X. Same idea. So it's going to be 6/7 of X. So 6/7 of X. Good. Now I got my angles. I can use these and make an equation with them, so I can solve and find the value of X. Same idea. So I'm going to add them and find the value of X. Okay. So I'm going to put it here so I can answer here. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to say X plus X, which is here. So here, first X plus X. Let's make it bigger. So X plus X plus 4 over 7X plus 4. Let's make it like this. 4 over 7X. And then X. Let's do it like this. Okay. 4 over 7X. And then 4X over 7. Same idea. And then plus 6 over 7X. So 6X over 7. 4, 7, 6 over 7. Okay. So we made it as an equation. Still, we need to find the value. So when you add all of these angles together, you'll end up with what? Very good, 360. Then a مجموعهم 360. Now, here, let's make the line of fractions so we don't get confused. This one and this one. So now we have our equation. Now we're going to solve it. So we're going to say x plus x equals 2. Okay. So 1 plus 1 equals 2. And then here we have 4 over 7 plus 6 over 7. So because we have the same denominators, it means we can add it. We can add the numerators and use the same denominator. So here we have 4 plus 6 is going to be 10 over 7. So 10 over 7. Okay. And x. Yes. 10 over 7x. Here we have 2x. 2x. Okay. Focus with me on this because adding these fractions and whole numbers is not easy. It's not easy. You have to focus. Now here, this one is 2x and this one is 10 over 7. Okay, this one is 10 over 7. You can turn this into a mixed number and then add them together, or you can use a calculator. So 10 over 7, 10 divided 7, and then you add it with 2, and you can turn it into a mixed number or a fraction. It's going to be 24 over 7. 24 over 7. So here, the answer of this one is going to be 24 over 7. Or you can make the denominators the same, which is 7. You put 1 here. I'll show you how to do this. You make the denominator 1 here. It's 2 over 1. And then when you answer this, it means you're going to multiply the denominator. So 7 times 1 is going to be 7. And then after that, you do cross multiplying like this. So here we have 7 times 2 is going to be 14. Here, I'm showing you the steps of addition of fractions. And then 10 times 1 is 10. So we have 10 plus 14 over 7. Focus on this, okay? 10 plus 14 over 7. And it's going to be 24 over 7, okay? And here x. And then the answer will be 24 over 7. 24 over 7. You can make this as a mixed number, but leave it like that now. So 24x over 7, okay? Let's write it like this. And then equals to what? Equals to 360. Equals to 360. I'm going to show you how to deal with this now because we have a fraction. We have a 7 down here. The 7 is divided by. So I can take the 7 by multiplying here. So I'm going to take the 7 here because it's divided. I'm going to say take it by multiplying here. So I'm going to say, I'm going to remove it from here. And the 360 is going to be multiplied by 7 times 7, okay? So we have 24x equals this one. So we write it here. 24x equals 360 times 7. 360 times 7. And the answer is 2,520. Okay. Now, this one is multiplied by x. So I'm going to take it to the other side by dividing. So I'm going to take 24 here by dividing under a fraction line. And I'm going to remove it from here. Okay. So you have to follow the steps to get the answer. Good. Now, x equals what? X equals this divided this. So I'm going to divide it using the calculator. So 2,520 divide 24. And the answer is 105. The answer is 105. Now, 105 is what? It's the x. So find angle PSR. PSR is this one, the 4/7 of x. So I'm going to take the x, which is 105, and multiply it by 4 over 7. So it's going to be 4 over 7. Okay. Multiply 105 times 105. I'm going to make it as a fraction. So 4 over 7 multiply 105, and the answer will be, as we said, this one is PSR. PSR, okay? And the answer, 105, sorry, 4 over 7 times 105, and the answer is 60. So the first angle here, PSR, equals 60, okay? Now, the next question, which is B, you have to focus on these and how do we make them as an equation and how do we solve fractions. These are basic math, so you have to know these ideas and how to deal with them. Now, through that angle QPS. QPS is a right angle. How do you do that? You're going to take the 105 and put it here, and then multiply it by 6 over 7. So you're going to say 6 over 7, okay, multiply 105 times 105, okay? And the answer that you will get will tell you if it's a right angle or not. So here, let's multiply 6 over 7 times 105. And yes, it is a right angle because I got 90. So you say yes. Or you already showed that by these steps, okay? So I'm gonna put an arrow that takes me to this. And this is how you answer a question like this. I know it's a little bit confusing, but you should follow the steps. First step, we made expressions of the angles، حولناها إلى expressions. بعدين زدناها مع بعض طلعت لي 360 المفروض. حلينا expressions by adding like terms. We found x at the end, and then we substitute x here to find PSR. And then we substitute here to make sure or to show that this one is a right angle. And this is how you answer a question like this. Now, let's move on to the next question.